Hello, my name is Kate Sanders, and I am the Director of Alumni Group Travel and Academic Enrichment of OSU Alumni Association. Welcome to Travel Talks. Our online Travel Talks program invites experts from across the university, as well as friends of the university, to learn about the places we like to travel. So I want to just have you save the date for our last travel talk of this season. We are going to take the summer off, much like our students, but don't worry, we'll be back in the fall. So our last one of the season is going to be tomorrow, May 6th, and it's the Aurora Borealis and the Aurora Source Citizen Science Project. So that will be a really great talk. And then I want to tell you a little bit about OSU Days of Service. So if you've been around and done a lot of things with the Alumni Association over the years, you might remember that May is our service month. May is the time where we get out in our local communities and we like to give back to where we live. So join us anywhere in the world, really, during the month of May and do some volunteer projects within your community. When you do, log them. You can log them at OSU4OregonState.org/service. There'll be a link right there just to log your service hours and let us know what you did. You can volunteer in existing projects in Oregon, Idaho, or California. You can even send in or drop off your gently used business clothes for the Benny's Business Closet, or send inspirational messages to graduating students. So all those are great things to do during May for OSU Days of Service. And before we begin, I, of course, love to talk just a little bit about a couple trips coming up. And the next one here we're going to talk about is the Canadian Rockies Explorer with Glacier National Park. This is a wonderful tour this summer. There's still a couple spots left over. So if you always wanted to head north into that area, you might want to check out this tour. We have a very new tour. This is new to us, Moab Arches and the Canyonlands Escapes. This is a hiking trip. So for my active travelers who like to move around all day, it's hiking about 3 to 6 miles a day around Utah. So you want to check that one out too. And then you may have watched the Kentucky Derby this weekend, and we are headed there next year. So this is one of those bucket list trips. You'll have the opportunity to see the newly renovated Churchill Downs, and not to mention experience the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. You'll have tickets to the Derby, which now includes all your beverages and food. And you'll learn about the industry with tours of working horse farms and meet retired racehorses and movie stars like the horse that played Secretariat, visit Keeneland Racetrack, and much more. So grab your hat and head to the Derby with us next year. And then we just added to the Indy 500. So that happens during Memorial Day weekend, and this is a great trip for families. There's pricing for solos, for doubles, for triples, and for quads, and there's a child price as well. So if you're into car racing, you might want to check out the Indy 500, and it also includes a VIP garage tour. And then we'll just move on here and let you know that all of our trips are online, of course, and you can find them at 4OregonState.org/travel. Now we're going to get started with tonight's talk. So first, who's going to join us is John Valva. He's the Executive Director of the Alumni Association. And then we'll have Liz Bell, a different Elizabeth Bell for all of those that joined us last month for our Ireland talk. This Liz Bell is the Business Development Manager for Premier World Discovery. So John is set to join us on the Smoky Mountains trip, and he will start off by just welcoming us and saying a few words, and then we'll have Liz come on. Then I'll talk a little bit about the weekend in Boone, and then Liz will come back and talk about our Montreal and Quebec trip. John, you there? You want to say hi?
I'm here. Thanks, Kate. Hi, everybody. Good to see you all. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm looking at the scroll of names joining this Zoom call, and I know many of you, lots of good friends, lots of great Beavers on this call. So I just wanted to join quickly because when the football schedule came out a few months ago, it's this in-between year, right? When we're about to reconvene the Pac-12, and a lot of places that the Beavers in football and other sports are going to go to this year and next are places we don't normally go or very often. And so when we saw Appalachian State on the trip, My wife Hannah and I said, we want to do that. Fall in the Smoky Mountains. That seems beautiful. That seems cool. Kate and I started talking. Kate and Liz and I started talking. And I've mentioned this to a few of you that are on this call and some others. And we thought, why not? We're going to go see the Beavers play on the road. Let's extend the trip. So Liz and Kate will talk a little bit about what that trip is. My wife Hannah and I love to do these alumni group trips. We get to meet many great Beavers from lots of different areas, learn about the location that we're in, eat really good food. Occasionally we drink something, I won't say what, although I think there's moonshine on this one, and have a great time. So think about it. If you haven't signed up for this yet, we'd love to join you. Hannah is a much better host than I am, but I try. And Kate, I'm going to send this back to you and Liz. I think, Liz, you're going to go first and talk a little bit about the trip. Thanks, everybody.
Yes, Liz, are you there? You want to join us and we can talk about your
Yes.
trip. And here we go. Got your slides up?
Okay.
Take it away.
Oh, well, hello. Hello, everybody. My name is Liz Bell, and I am from Premier World Discovery. And I did not start my career in the tourism industry. I started as a paralegal in complex litigation, believe it or not. But then one day, one of my friends told me about a great job in the Canadian Rockies as a guide. And I came home and reevaluated and found that people on vacation are a much better mood than people getting sued. So I have been in travel since 2021, which has enabled me to see a lot of great places, including the two places I'm going to be chatting about today. But first, a little bit about Premier World Discovery. We were established in 1999 down in Redondo Beach, California. We're entering our 26th year in business. And last year was our biggest year to date. We had 12,000 passengers that went on about 80 different destinations around the world with us. As a tour operator, we're a member of a lot of different organizations, which you see listed here. But out of all of these, I believe that the USTOA is the most important. It stands for the United States Tour Operators Association. And out of 10,000 tour operators in the US, less than 50 are accredited through this organization. And the most important thing about this organization is we put up a $1 million bond every year to be part of it, but it protects any travelers traveling on any of our programs. Wherever we're traveling in the world, first class accommodations, so you can always rest assured that when you're traveling away from home, you'll be very comfortable. You'll have all the amenities that you expect at any of the hotels that we choose for you. Also included on our tours, we offer breakfast daily. We always have a welcome dinner and a farewell dinner, usually 1 or 2 meals in between. We do not include every single meal, and that is by design because we want you to get out to the area you're traveling in and really engage with the place that you're seeing. We do our very best to find the best of the best in the industry to make sure that you are with a concierge service while you are traveling away from home. Tour directors can make or break a trip, and so we make sure you have the best of the best. And we also make sure that you're traveling in style. So the motor coaches are modern, they're air conditioned. If you're traveling by train, then that is first class travel as well. Next slide. All right, Smoky Mountains and Pigeon Forge offering the September 29th to October 3rd. It's going to be a 4-night stay in one hotel, and you're visiting an absolutely spectacular part of our country. We are including round trip airfare in the package price. Flights out of either Portland or Seattle, 4 nights in Pigeon Forge. You'll be connecting in Knoxville. You'll arrive in Knoxville, you'll meet your tour director at the airport, and then your motor coach will take you down to Pigeon Forge. You'll get settled into the hotel, and then later that evening, you will have a welcome reception and a welcome dinner in Pigeon Forge. Very nice to be able to go and just stay in one place for 4 nights. And Pigeon Forge is an absolutely beautiful location. This is the site of the old mill in Pigeon Forge. The mill was built before the forge was, so it's a very historic part. And we're staying at Courtyard by Marriott in Pigeon Forge. This is what your hotel will look out like. Very nice rooms, lovely pool, beautiful common area. You'll have an evening where you can get to know all of your traveling companions. Always a great start to the trip. And then on day 2, we're going to set out to North Carolina. We're going to go to Asheville and visit the Biltmore Estate. Of course, originally built by George Vanderbilt in 1889. He became enchanted with the Blue Ridge Mountain area in the 1880s when he first visited there, and he contracted with Frederick Law Olmsted to build the 75 acres of gardens around this beautiful estate. We will be having lunch at the estate so we can enjoy all their hospitality. There's a shot of some of the gardens around the estate. Next slide. Some more of the beautiful horticulture that we have there at the Biltmore. And they have a winery. They actually planted their first vineyards there in 1971, but by the 1980s were becoming very well renowned for their excellent wines. So we'll have a quick visit over to the winery at the Biltmore. Next slide. And on day 3, we are going to explore the most visited national park in the United States, Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Some beautiful vistas throughout this park, as you'll see on the next slide. Beautiful rolling hills, and this time of the year, there should be some lovely fall colors as well. It'll be great weather for exploring. During the day, we should be high 70s, and in the evening, high 50s. So love that time of the year where it just kind of warms up nicely during the day. Also on day 3, we're going to visit beautiful Gatlinburg. This is kind of a small little community, about 3,500 people living here. Very wonderful history of this region. They have some lovely shops around town. They even have an aerial tram in Gatlinburg that you'll see.
I think we're having a delay in our internet connection. Do you see our
Okay.
moonshine tasting slide?
I see the moonshine
Okay.
tasting, yes, for sure. This will be the highlight of Gatlinburg. Moonshine distilling was usually done in the shadows, and these days there's 4 different tasting locations throughout Gatlinburg. So we'll have a little taste of the sweet moonshine. And then back to Pigeon Forge that evening. We're going to have a special inclusive dinner that night. It's hard to call it the farewell dinner because it's not on the last night, but it works in better with the schedule to host it on this evening. And then that evening, we will be doing a show in Pigeon Forge at the Country Tonight Theater, and they have a variety of singing and dancing and entertainment at the Country Tonight. Day 4, we're going to be going to the Titanic Museum in Pigeon Forge. It's not quite a full-size replica, but they have a lot of wonderful exhibits at the Titanic Museum, so it's a really fun thing to incorporate with our tour there.
And it's not dangerous, right?
Not at all, not at all. You'll be perfectly safe. No icebergs will affect your journey.
It's getting there. Your next one is on Dollywood. You should see it in a moment.
Okay, there we go. Perfect. And day 4, we're going to spend a good amount of time in Dollywood. This is, of course, one of the most visited places in the region there. I'm a big fan of Dolly Parton myself, so this will be a lovely spot for you guys to spend some time. There's a lot of great things to do in Dollywood. They have some beautiful shops. They'll have some glass blowing demonstrations there. There's a short little train ride. There's a roller coaster. So a lot of great things to see and explore while you are visiting Dollywood. And there is a theater in Dollywood as well. So this is part of the reason we're doing the group dinner on day 3, so that if you want to check out another country and western show, you can do that evening in Dollywood. Day 5, return to Knoxville to either fly home or some other adventures that Kate will be talking about shortly. So a lot of great inclusions on this trip. So just to briefly go over them, there's 7 meals included, and then entrance to all of the parks and to the moonshine tasting, Titanic, all included with this. You'll have baggage handling done for you by the tour director and driver throughout, and the tour director will be there to give more information on all the sites of interest, which is great.
Great. Okay, so then bear with me a minute as I reshare my screen, and I will talk and let everyone know a little bit about the extension for the OSU versus ASU football game. We have a motor coach that's set up to take folks from Pigeon Forge down to Boone, North Carolina for the football game, and round trip and then again back to Knoxville, Tennessee. So for flights home for people that want to do it. We have a hotel block down there. We have 2 different hotels that you can stay at. And then for the dates to get to know is October 3rd. There's a Friday night, you'll arrive in Boone, and that night there's an OSU ASU Mountaineer meetup on the ASU campus. And then Saturday, of course, is the big game, and we'll have a tailgate down as usual before the game. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. And then on Sunday, October 5, you'll take your trip back to Knoxville.
Before you go to the next slide, Kate, let me just want to clarify. Some of you may have heard from me a while back that the plan would be to travel from the end of the Smoky Mountains trip by your own rental car. But since that time, we've decided to find and get a group motor coach so that you don't have to go through that hassle. You still could, I guess, if you wanted to, but the motor coach bullet that you have there is now part of our arrangements.
Yes, depending on whatever's easiest with your
You could do
with
either.
your travel. You could do either way. And then, of course, the more people on the motor coach, we're going to try to get that price down too. Then when you're in Boone, we have 2 blocks for hotels. We got the Courtyard Boone by Marriott and then the Comfort Suites. So you could stay either one of the properties. We have blocks there. There are quite a number of rooms. So if anybody's interested, they can set up a hotel block or room there. And there are other properties throughout Boone. Let you know a little bit about Boone, North Carolina. It is a small town. I believe the population of somewhere around 18,000 people, so it's smaller than Corvallis. It's set up in the hills, and the route, I should mention this before, the route from Knoxville to Boone is on some windy mountain roads. And one of the roads was affected by the floods last year, so it's still under construction and getting rebuilt. So because of that, they're hopefully by fall it's a little bit better, but right now they still have one section that is closed off. So it goes down to one lane traffic. So the route from Pigeon Forge down to Boone does take a little bit of time just because of the windy roads and the distance that you travel. Then you'll end up there that evening. You could go to the Friday night Mountaineer meetup if you want to. And then our football tickets are not on sale yet. So they will go on sale in June. When they do go on sale, the Alumni Association is going to get a block of seats. So if you're interested in sitting with all of us from the Alumni Association, you're welcome to. We will be in the visitor section as we always are. So there is an option there, or of course you can buy seats wherever you wish within the stadium. And our athletics department will have all those on for sale. And they're anticipating about June is when the tickets will go on sale. Then for the Saturday tailgate town, we're going to be inside one of the buildings on campus. And then it's a pretty short walk up to the stadium. I do say up to the stadium because if you'll see this yellow line is a little hard to see. I think I can make this a little bit fancier. So
We
we
can see it.
leave from the building and then we just walk up to the stadium. This section right here is uphill and there are golf carts that are always waiting to help people climb that hill because I hear it's a pretty good hill. But there's golf carts, they have them there to help you get up the hill, but it's a short walk up to the stadium and it's a beautiful place. So of course, if you do the trip, then we are throwing in tailgate time for free. You don't have to pay for it, so you can come and visit us on that Saturday before the game. Whatever you decide to do, we do suggest that you don't try to drive and park a car on campus that morning. We hear that parking on campus on game day is very hard. So everyone highly encourages you to take the local bus. It's called the Apple Cart. And the local Boone residents love the Apple Cart. They talk about it all the time. So it's just easy to take the bus to campus and the bus back. There is some Lyft and some taxis in the area, but the Lyfts and Ubers are a little bit harder to get. And the taxis, there's one or two companies. So that Apple Cart bus, everyone says is kind of your key to transportation to getting around town. And then that's the basic part of the weekend that we have. John, do you want to add something?
I can add a couple other things. Boone is adorable. It's a super cute town. As Kate says, it's small. It's less than half the size of Corvallis, if you can think of it that way. And so the Smoky Mountain trips is one combined trip. And then this extension that Kate just talked about is kind of an a la carte menu in addition. And so we'll organize all of it for you, but you have some choices along the way that Kate can walk you through individually if you're interested in which hotel and what are the times of the transfers so that you can book your flights. All of those types of things Kate can walk you through individually when you have those questions. But just know that Boone is super cute, really small. So when she says, don't bring your car because the Apple Cart drives around, it's kind of like the Beaver bus on campus. It's like that. So I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and the hotels are pretty centrally located as well, and they're close to the downtown area. So it'll be easy to get around once you're down there. All right, so Liz, I am going to bring your slides back up, and then hopefully our internet connection will be a little bit faster than it was before. That was
I
yeah.
felt like there was a little bit of a delay there. Yeah.
I
that's
would
okay.
I would say so. Oh, if we did forget, I'm gonna bring present there. You can go ahead. Did you go ahead and turn your camera back on?
Yeah.
And oh, it took me to the top. So bear with us as we kind of, maybe if I can do this. Here we go. We forgot your pricing slide, Liz. So I'm gonna go back to that on the Boone
Okay.
trip. Okay. Present. Well, go ahead and talk while I figure this out. Do you see it?
I do see it. Yes. So,
Okay.
just to let everybody know, the regular rate for this trip, $32.49. As I said, that includes round trip airfare. We do have land only rates as well, especially if people want to use their, any of their credit from different airlines. The booking discount refers to paying your final payment by check. It saves us the credit card processing fees, so we offer $100 off for that. And if you're one person in the hotel room, there is a single supplement on that. So happy to talk about the booking process at the end of the Montreal and Quebec trip. All right, and here we are, Montreal and Quebec Christmas. We're offering this at the beginning of December. This is a wonderful trip to an absolutely majestic part of Canada. As you're probably aware, Canada started off as just 4 provinces in Eastern Canada, so a lot of history that goes quite a bit further back in time, well before the 1860s. And we are featuring Fairmont hotels for both of these cities, 2 nights in Montreal at the Fairmont Queen Elizabeth, and then in Quebec we'll be staying at the Chateau Frontenac. All right, you will be flying round trip to Montreal. We will be staying there for 2 nights, experiencing some wonderful things in Montreal, and then we'll be taking train up to Quebec City on Via Rail, and then for our return trip back to Montreal, we'll be doing that by motor coach, so you'll be able to see some different areas around the St. Lawrence Seaway. So here's some of the inclusions on the trip. We talked a little bit about the hotels. The hotels are a really special part of the trip. We're going to have city tours of both Montreal and Quebec. We'll have a beautiful train ride along the St. Lawrence, and we'll also say Montmorency Falls and a copper museum. They have a lot of artwork made out of copper. And of course, the German style markets in Montreal and Quebec City will be featured. All right. Okay, welcome to Montreal. In French, of course, it means Mount Royal, and it's a wonderful city in that it is a mix of its old town area as well as modern areas as well. It was host to the World Olympics back in 1976 as well. They've got a beautiful harbor area right in the central part of town.
Did you see the city yet? Or are you only
Yep,
seeing?
there's the city. Yes.
Okay.
There's the modern city. There's the Notre Dame Cathedral. We will be doing a lovely tour of that. You'll love the inside of it. Just absolutely beautiful artifacts inside the Notre Dame Cathedral here. There's the inside. Very beautiful. We'll spend a little bit of time in there. We'll go over to St. Joseph's Oratory as well. And Brother Andre was credited for that. We'll see Jacques Cartier Square. Jacques Cartier, dating back to 1500s, was an explorer of this part of Canada. He was the first European to go inland, and he mapped the St. Lawrence Seaway. McGill University, one of the top universities in the world, over 150 students or 150 countries are represented in its students there. And this is Mount Royal neighborhood. This is what Montreal was named for, a beautiful old neighborhood with a beautiful view of the city. And because Montreal gets a few colder temperatures in the winter months, this is the underground city. And so they have art galleries and restaurants and movie theaters, everything you could possibly need, and a wonderful warm passageway underneath the city streets. This is the old town, so this is what we call Paris without the jet lag. Beautiful cafes, lovely little wandering streets to go down and experience. And so you can feel like you're back in Paris somewhere. Another spot of Montreal's Old Town, and the time of the year, early December, might have a little bit of white fluffy stuff landing on your head, but it just adds to the ambiance of the place. Via Rail will take us very smoothly from Montreal up to Quebec City, about a 3-hour experience on this train. Via Rail does a wonderful job for us. The train tracks wonderfully established right along the St. Lawrence Seaway and then delivering us into Quebec City. And you can see why this was a military fortification for many years. Very good vantage point of the St. Lawrence Seaway. That is, of course, the Chateau Frontenac up there on the bluff. And this is a walled city, so we'll explore inside of the city's walls. There's the Fairmont Chateau Frontenac, once again, a UNESCO heritage site and a wonderful hotel to spend 3 nights at. There is one of the gates that goes into the walled city of Old Quebec. And Quebec has had quite a bit of a military history as well, so we'll visit a couple of things in town in relation to that. Next slide. Citadel. This is still a military fortification in Quebec City. There's only 2 places in North America that have such a thing, Campeche, Mexico, and this one in Quebec City, called the Citadel. So we'll do a brief tour around the Citadel. These are the Plains of Abraham. There was a great conflict between the English and the French in 1759. The English were led by General Wolfe, and they were victorious, but they keep the Plains of Abraham as it was. On day 4, we're going to visit Saint Anne de Desprez Shrine, a beautiful shrine, and we will learn a little bit more about the architecture and the fact that there are not very many shrines across the country of Canada. So that's the inside and the altar of the shrine there. Beautiful organ. And the Copper Museum, a lot of art made out of copper in the province of Quebec. And so they're going to give us a little bit of interpretation of the art. You'll meet the artisans and you'll learn how they actually create some of these beautiful pieces of work. There's some of the artwork hanging on the wall there. And the artisans as they are able to create all these wonderful works. Montmorency Falls. This is the tallest waterfall in the entire province of Quebec, and it's actually taller than Niagara Falls as well. So it's a wonderful place to go see. We'll spend some time enjoying this wonderful waterfall here.
You're on the Sugar Shack slide.
Okay, there we are. Yes. Ontario and Quebec province produce more than 75% of all the maple syrup in the world. So we will visit a spot that creates the maple syrup from the whole process. And so we will also have what they call a sugar shack demonstration where they take the maple syrup and they will drizzle it on the snow for us. And it's called sugar on snow. And then we'll have some maple syrup candy to enjoy. And I'm sure they will be telling you about all the different uses for maple syrup. It's not just for pancakes, folks. They use it on everything. And then the German style markets in Old Quebec City, and they'll have Christmas carolers, and there'll be little mugs of Glühwein there as well. It's a mulled wine that is often consumed in the German markets. And they have foods that you can sample in there as well, and some beautiful products on display for purchase as well. Maybe a few souvenirs as you wander through the Christmas markets. But it's a wonderful experience to go through there. Some shots of old Quebec City, and then you'll return by motor coach down to Montreal to fly back home again with wonderful memories of your Christmas time in Montreal and Quebec. So some great inclusions on this. I love the fact that we're doing the train between Montreal and Quebec. Train travel is just adds so much to this. And the Fairmont hotels are the ultimate in the hospitality of this region. And some great inclusions throughout, wonderful tour directors and baggage handling, of course, at all the hotels. And so the regular rate on this is $40.99 with paying the final payment by check brings it down to $39.99, and single supplement of $10.50. So wonderful experience in Eastern Canada for you during this first week in December. Thank you, Kate.
I'm sorry for the internet delay between the two of us, but you did really well.
Thank you, Kate. I apologize if I was a little hesitant sometimes. I was just waiting for the next slide.
No, I know it's okay. I could tell because I was clicking a few ahead, and then yeah, it took a little bit of time for you to catch up, but that's all right. So was a quick overview and how to sign up. The best way to sign up for these trips is, I always say, just contact Premier World Discovery. We definitely say do not email us this form. We don't want any of this information over email, so just give them a call, and it's all on our brochures. Great. So then that is that, and then we are just going to open it up for questions for everyone. So feel free, you can either put it in Q&A at the top, or you can go to your chat button right there on the side and type in to see if anybody has any questions. I will say for the Smoky Mountains tour, if you want to do the Boone extension, it is best probably just to get your own flights, because for coming and going and ease, that would be the best way to do it. The flights that are included with the trip are on the set dates of arrival and departure. So if you need more flexibility, and if you're going to Boone, then you'll want to do your own flights into Knoxville
And I
and
think,
back.
Kate, it would be helpful for those doing that to know the arrival and departure times in Knoxville that make the most sense.
Yeah, so we know that in the evening, the flights from Oregon, they do take a little bit of time to get to the East Coast. So if you want to arrive early, then you can easily, just even a day early if you want to, you could get a hotel like right there by the airport in Knoxville, and then wake up, take the shuttle back to the airport, and then get the transfer to Pigeon Forge. That's probably your easiest option to do it.
Do you know
And
what time that transfer is going to be?
And we don't have the transfer time quite yet until we're closer to departure, but it'll be in the morning hours, morning, mid-afternoon, depending on flight arrivals and if anyone takes the flight package. But and then they can just get the transfer to Pigeon Forge. Or if you want to make it to that area on your own, I looked it up on Uber, and Uber was estimating a $57 Uber ride from Knoxville Airport to Pigeon Forge, and it's about an hour's drive. So that's an option. And then for flying home, to head back home, if you want to take the bus back up, we'll probably leave about 8 a.m. Sunday morning, and then that should put us in around noon into Knoxville. It does take a little time because you're on a coach and it is windy roads. And as I said, one of the lanes might be being rebuilt from the floods. So definitely, if you're looking for flights home, know that you probably aren't going to make it back to the airport until noon. So plan accordingly so you don't miss your flight on the way home. Yeah. And then other than that, when you're down in Boone, if you're taking the bus down, as I said, the Apple Cart will get you around to different restaurants. There's a couple restaurants in walking distance from the two airport or from the two hotels as well. And then you can just take the Apple Cart right into downtown if you would like to. There are specific game day routes because as you know, a small town of about, I think it was 18,000. When you get a lot of travelers coming in for a football game, the dynamics change. So there are game day routes for the Apple Cart as well.
And our complimentary Friday evening Fan Fest, you had a name for it, but I'll call it Fan Fest.
Oh, it's the Mountaineer Meetup.
Mountaineer Meetup. What time does that supposed to start? Around 5?
That is being organized by ASU, and we don't
Yeah.
have the start time yet for that. We're pre-planning a little bit early here, but it'll be in the evening. Yeah. Oh, great. We got a question. Does Quebec City normally get a lot of snow in December? My guess would be there'd be some, but Liz, you still there? Do you want to answer that? Do you want to pop your video on and answer
I'm
that
still
question?
here. Usually in the beginning of December, you get just a few flakes, but it's not a heavy snowfall. But the temperatures will probably be hovering around 32 degrees. So you'll be bundling up a little bit, but it adds to the charm of the area.
Yes. Dress in layers is what we like to always say. Dress in layers. And that would be a good good tour to bring your hat and gloves. And your camera, because it'll be really pretty. Great. All right. Well, either we did a good job or we're not quite ready for questions. Either way. All right. Well, I think we're good, John. If we don't have any more questions out there, do you want to say any closing remarks about the
They're
trips?
texting their questions to me directly, Kate.
Oh,
So
they are. Okay. What are the questions?
I'll follow up with you later. Hopefully you got a taste of what these two trips might be like. I've been on that Montreal, Quebec City trip. I haven't done it during the Christmas markets, but I did it another time of year, and it's one of my favorite places on earth. It's amazing. So hopefully some travel trips over the course of the year are interesting to all of you. And if you're interested in these, you know who to
Yeah.
call and how to sign up. Thanks for your interest,
Definitely.
everybody.
Yeah, definitely. Well, then the last few little reminders is you can find us again at fororegonstate.org/travel, where all of our trips are online. And we've got everything loaded into 2026. And I am thinking about 2027. So if you have some ideas, you can always let me know because we plan that far in advance. And then all of our talks are recorded. This one is being recorded and we'll share it online too. And I think I realized that my beginning slides, I don't think I actually had them up as I was talking about the other tours. So we'll try to fix that too when we post the recording. And of course, we're on Facebook, so you can find us there too. And thank you very much for joining us today. And we hope that you'll have a lovely evening.
Bye.
Goodbye.